Good afternoon. Welcome to Joliet, Illinois, Dooley Health and Care Field, the home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints as they take on St. Ambrose University in a CCAC doubleheader today. Terry Bonadonna with you on the play-by-play for today's game, which is just moments away from getting started. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for these two teams. First, for the visitors from St. Ambrose. Leading things off and playing left field is Jake Muha. Batting second baseman Noah McCreary. Brock Weber bats third and plays first base. The cleanup hitter is designated hitter Brandon Matias. Joey Fitzgerald plays third base. Batting sixth, right fielder Adrian Zatera. The shortstop is Bryce Vincent. Vincent hits seventh. Dan Laffery bats eighth in center field. And batting ninth is the catcher Garrett Latos. The starting pitcher for St. Ambrose today is number 5, Jacob Bossy. The starting lineup for St. Francis today is Alex Martinez leading off and playing second base. Batting second, center fielder Cliff Vickers. Nate Maliska is at first. Batting cleanup, right fielder Jake Klepash. Brian Hidalgo hits fifth at shortstop. Hitting sixth, Drew Dant. Dant plays third base. John McGuire is the designated hitter in the seventh spot. Alex Milkars plays left field. And batting ninth, the catcher Dan Gusel. The starting pitcher for the Fighting Saints today, making his third start of the year, is right-handed sophomore Sam Pileggi. Pileggi pitches out of the stretch to get started today. He's in the set position. And we are underway as the first pitch is grounded to the shortstop. Hidalgo gathers, throws to first, one pitch, one out. A nice start for the Saints. First pitch today at 1:02 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Sam Pileggi, in his two previous starts, has struggled this season. 5 2/3 innings. He's allowed 11 runs on 5 hits. Big problem for him, 12 walks in 5 2/3 frames. He has struck out 4. Pileggi is 0-2 with a 17.47 ERA. Here's the second baseman, Noah McCreary, getting his first at-bat of the day for St. Ambrose. He takes strike one over the inside corner. McCreary is a .291 hitter. 2 homers, 12 RBIs for the year. St. Ambrose enters today's game with a 6-8 overall record. A swing and a high fly into center field. It's deep. Cliff Vickers chases it back. Vickers reaches and can't pull it in. Just out of the reach of the center fielder, McCreary around second, heads to third base and slides in without a throw. It's a one-out triple for St. Ambrose. Well, the positive 3 pitches into this game for Sam Pileggi is he hasn't missed the strike zone yet. Obviously, gave you the numbers before the game. Big problem throwing strikes so far this season. So at least to 2 batters, he's had good control. That ball was hit hard, though. And it allows McCreary to motor all the way into third with a triple. Here's Brock Weber trying to drive in the first run of the game. Weber swings the first pitch, grounds to second base. He will get that run in as Alex Martinez throws to first for the out. All things considered, the Saints will take it. Second out of the inning. All things considered, the Bees will take it too. It's an RBI for Weber and a 1-0 lead for St. Ambrose. For Brock Weber, RBI number 15 this season. That breaks a tie with Brandon Matias for the team lead. Matias is the batter right now with the bases empty and 2 outs. Right-handed hitting DH, leads the team with 5 home runs. He's got a .275 average coming in. He takes ball 1, the first miss of the game from Pileggi. 2 of the first 3 batters have swung at the first pitch and put it in play. So a lot of quick at-bats in this first inning. The 1-0. Matias takes a hack, can't connect. It's 1-1. St. Ambrose 6-8, St. Francis 3-10. Both teams just getting started in conference play. Fighting Saints split their CCAC opening doubleheader with St. Xavier on Tuesday. Swing and a miss. Matias chased one downstairs. It's 1-2. St. Ambrose went 6-6 in non-conference play. They were swept in their first CCAC twin bill of the year. Lost a couple of heartbreakers to Olivet Nazarene on Tuesday. It's hard to have multiple heartbreakers in one day once your heart is broken. I don't know if it was repaired again before it was broken in game 2 or if it just cracked in a separate place. Matthias takes the ball, 2-2. But the point is, Olivet won both of those games in their final at bat. So really tough losses for the Fighting Bees. 10-9, 7-6 were the two final scores, and a couple of wild ones. Fifth pitch of the at-bat. Pileggi trying to put Matthias away. Line shot to third on one hop. It's off of Drew Dant, and it ricochets into left field. That's a 2-out base hit for Matthias. The first inning continues for St. Ambrose. It was playable for Dant. It did hit off his glove, but a screamer on one hop. Not an easy play, and he couldn't keep it in front of him. So Matthias is aboard, and that brings up the fifth batter, Joey Fitzgerald. Third baseman Fitzgerald has played in about half the games this year for St. Ambrose. He's been excellent when he has been in the lineup. He takes ball one upstairs. 11 for 27 at the plate. That's a .407 batting average. 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. His OPS coming in is well over 1,200, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. 2 quick groundouts and 2 hits this inning. St. Ambrose has a run in thanks to the Noah McCreary triple. Matthias is checked on at first base. This is not a team that steals a ton of bases, and Brandon Matthias in particular has not attempted a steal yet this year. Strike at the waist. 2-1 on Fitzgerald. Sam Pileggi, 5'9", 175 pounds, out of Plainfield Central High School. He gets a little tapper right back to him. Pileggi fields it cleanly and throws Fitzgerald out at first base. The inning comes to a close, not before a run scores on a pair of hits for St. Ambrose. St. Francis will come to bat for the first time in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 1-0. Bottom of the first inning, St. Francis trails 1-0 as they come to bat for the first time. Alex Martinez, Cliff Vickers, Nate Maliska due to hit. Klapash, Hidalgo, Dance, McGuire, Milcars, and Goosel make up the rest of the starting lineup. facing St. Ambrose left-hander Jacob Bossy, junior from Crown Point, Indiana. Makes his third start of the year. He's 1-0 with an even 6 ERA as he winds up for the first pitch today. Martinez bloops it foul to the right and out of play for strike one. In 9 innings, Bossy has allowed 6 runs on 7 hits, 16 strikeouts, a massive number through 9 innings, but he's also walked 8. So both starting pitchers in today's game have had control problems over the course of the season. However, both offenses have been aggressive, swinging at the first pitch in this first inning. 1-1 on Martinez. He swings and launches one high into center field, playable for Dan Laffery, who backs up and makes the grab, one away. Saints in their brown uniforms today with the gold St. Francis logo on the left breast and gold numbers on the front and back. St. Ambrose wears navy blue. They've also got the logo on the left breast and numbers on both the front and the back of the jerseys in white. Cliff Vickers digs in for the first time. Left-handed hitting center fielder, shows bunt, takes a breaking ball for ball one. St. Ambrose jerseys are of the pullover variety. Looks like they have just the one button up top. Swing and a miss. Count evens on Vickers. Maybe 2 buttons. I can't tell. I don't know. I'm not a sartorialist. I just dress to keep warm. Fouled back by Vickers. 1-2. Cliff Vickers sitting 237 this year with 5 RBIs. A couple of doubles. You don't have to dress too warm today, although layers always help. It's a pleasant mid-March day. Vickers ropes it down the right field line foul. A slow breaker from Bossy. Vickers tried to wait back on it, didn't wait quite long enough. 1 out, nobody on, still 1-2. Bossy tries to put him away and misses the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 58 degrees at first pitch today, which is about 10 above average for this time of year. Sun is showing up every now and then, but mostly an overcast day. As Vickers takes strike 3 called. Thought it was perhaps a bit high. Home plate umpire said it broke down into the zone. 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the first inning. Nate Maliska bats, trying to get a little first inning rally going for the Fighting Saints. St. Ambrose scored in the first on a Noah McCreary triple, and then an RBI ground out from Brock Weber. Nate Maliska, left-handed hitting first baseman, takes ball 1 low. Maliska's at 300, 5 extra base hits, 5 RBIs this year. Trying to keep the inning alive. He takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Bossy into the windup. Next pitch misses low and away. 3-0. Mentioned coming into the inning that he has struggled with his control over the course of the season. He's fallen behind a couple of hitters here in the first. 6 balls thrown and 6 strikes among his first 12 pitches. There's his 7th strike. The first one to Maliska. 3-1. Game 1 of a doubleheader. As Maliska takes ball 4 outside. 5-pitch walk and the first base runner of the game for USF. This was scheduled to be game 3 of a 4-game series with doubleheaders yesterday and tomorrow. Yesterday's games were canceled. Bad weather led to bad field conditions out in the Quad Cities. Jake Klepash, the right fielder, stands in for the first time. Another left-handed bat for the Saints. Takes ball 1 outside. They were hoping to maybe get that doubleheader rescheduled for tomorrow, but the weather doesn't look any better tomorrow than it was yesterday. Inside, 2-0. Bossy has missed on 6 of his last 7 pitches. He walked Maliska And Jake Klepash is in the driver's seat, top hitter on the season for St. Francis, 346 average. 9 for 26 at the plate. 2-0, and he misses downstairs. 3 balls and no strikes. It's our second straight 3-0 count. Bossy has now thrown more balls than strikes this inning. .30 pitch. Called strike on a borderline offering. Makes it 3-1. Klepash stays in the box with Brian Hidalgo, right-handed batter, waiting on deck. There's a swing and a bouncer to the right side. Ranging to his left, a sliding stop by the second baseman, Noah McCreary. And he throws over to first to get the final out of the inning. Nice work by McCreary, and Bossy's able to pitch around his control problems in the first inning. St. Francis leaves one. We go to the second, 1-0. Fighting Bees on top. Top of the second inning, 1-0 St. Ambrose over St. Francis. It's a 7-inning game. Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Adrian Zitera leads things off for the Fighting Bees, the 6th batter in their lineup today. First pitch to Zitera is taken for strike 1 from Sam Pileggi. Pileggi did a good job throwing strikes in the first inning. That's an important step for him. A couple of guys got some hard hits. 1 run did score. Zitera takes a ball in the dirt, 1-1. But the dragon that Pileggi has been trying to slay throughout this young season is that inability to throw strikes. It's tough to put too much stock into non-conference statistics. 1-1, slapped foul to the right side, 1-2. Guys are still working on getting into game shape. The season really doesn't start in earnest until conference play begins. So you can kind of ignore Pileggi's lofty ERA and negative record, but the walks are an issue when you're walking more than 2 guys per inning. It's something that has to be addressed. Ball upstairs, 2-2. I was saying the same thing about his counterpart in the bottom of the first inning, Jacob Bossy, who's not nearly at that high a number, but he was walking just a shade under 1 per inning coming in, which is still a very high number. Fouled back, still 2-2. Pileggi entering play today had not been hit terribly hard. 5 hits allowed in 5 2/3 innings. Not a bad number by any means. So it was a different method of scoring for St. Ambrose in the first inning than one might expect. 2 hard hits, but Pileggi got ahead of just about everybody. This is his first 3-ball count of the game. Full count on Zitera. Adrian Zitera is hitting .286. He's appeared in every game this year for the Bees. 3 doubles are his only extra base hits. 5 runs batted in. Payoff pitch. Ripped to the left side and past a diving Drew Dant at third base. That's a base hit for Zatara as it's scooped up by Alex Milcars and returned to the infield. A leadoff single for St. Ambrose. It's just 6 hitters into the game. That's already their third safety. Pileggi so far has retired every other batter. As Bryce Vincent, the shortstop, digs in. Ground out triple, ground out single, ground out single. That's what we've seen through the first 6 batters of the game. And if that trend continues, then Vincent is due for a ground out. And of course, with the man at first base, that could mean 2 outs. Adrian Zatara leads the team with 4 stolen bases this year. Pileggi obviously is aware of that fact. He's thrown over to first base a couple of times. Rope down the left field line. That's a foul ball. Strike 1 on Bryce Vincent. He was right on top of it, just a hair early. Vincent is one of 3 batters on St. Ambrose hitting better than 300 this year. 302 with a 385 on base percentage. 6 runs batted in. Another throw over to first base sends Zatara diving back to the bag. 0-1 on Vincent. We've seen more tosses to first than we have to the batter during this at bat. Runner is on the move, pitches low and away for a ball. Throw to second is off the mark, and that's a stolen base for Adrian Zatara. Count is 1-1 on Bryce Vincent, and now there's a man in scoring position. You can see why Pileggi was so concerned with the runner over at first base. Zatara picked a good pitch to run on. Was low and away. Gusel had to backhand it. Not in great throwing position when he reeled it in. There's a pop-up hit by Vincent on the infield right side. Alex Martinez, the second baseman, makes the grab. Zatara is forced to hold at second base. 1 down. So it wasn't a ground out, but it does continue the trend of a hit and an out. And a big first one there for Pileggi. With Zatara moving from first to second, it was a lot more dangerous than when the at-bat started. The difference between a man at first and second is pretty obvious, but when you consider just the potential result of a ground ball, that's Dan Laffery digs in and swings at the first pitch, popping it behind home plate over our heads here in the press box. Strike 1. I was talking at the beginning of that at-bat, that Vincent at-bat, about a ground ball because Pileggi has induced quite a few of them so far today. Ground ball with a runner at first probably means 2 outs. A ground ball with a runner at second may mean he advances 90 feet. Laffery takes a strike at the knees, 0-2. So when Vincent began that at-bat, he was desperately trying to avoid a ground ball because he didn't want to hit into a double play. By the time Zatara stole second, now all of a sudden Vincent wants to hit a ground ball to the right side to advance the runner. Instead, he popped it up to the right side. Zatara is still at second base, and it's 1-2 on Laffery. Dan Laffery, the center fielder, is starting his 8th game of the year. He's 5 for 25 this year. That's an even 200 batting average. Fouled off the screen. Still 1-2. And of course, with that runner at second base, I mean, St. Ambrose is in very good position to score here if they continue their trend. Out hit, out hit, out hit, out. Time for a hit for Laffery. Pileggi's not a huge fan of patterns, so he'll try to break this one. Ball off the outside corner, 2-2. We saw a whole host of quick at-bats in the first inning. First 3 batters saw a grand total of 4 pitches. The Bees batters are making Pileggi work a lot harder here in the second. This is already his 16th pitch of the inning with the runner on the move, a swing and a foul ball. Still 2-2. Pileggi was paying close attention to Zatara over at first base, tossed over a number of times to check on him. Ever since he's advanced to second, he hasn't really paid him much heed. Zatara on that one was creeping towards third base well before the pitch. Got a huge jump and likely would have stolen third easily had it not been for the foul ball. Pileggi, of course, has taken notice. So he takes a close look back at second base here. The second baseman, Alex Martinez, playing right behind the bag, playing for a potential pickoff and limiting how far Zatara can go on his leadoff. Another 2-2. Popped up behind home plate. Dan Gusel searching for it. It'll stay in play and actually get back into fair territory. Catch is made by Pileggi for out number 2. It was a little scary for a moment there for St. Francis. Off the bat, it looked like it was going to stay behind home plate, but it drifted back across the plate into fair ground. Gusel lost it, and so Pileggi was there to make the catch, but he had to lunge for it at the last second. It nearly fell just to his left. So P1 on the scorecard. Back-to-back outs recorded by Pileggi for the first time, and that brings up Garrett Latos with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Breaking ball for a called first strike. Garrett Latos getting his first at bat of the game. 7 for 35 this year, like the batter who preceded him. That's a perfect 200 on the dot. Pileggi again steps off the rubber to look the runner back to second base. He hasn't made a pickoff attempt at second, but he stepped off twice now, with Martinez coming in behind the bag all the while. 0-1 on the Ambrose catcher. Latos takes the ball high. 1-1. 1-0 St. Ambrose leads on Brock Weber's RBI groundout in the first. That followed Noah McCreary's triple. Fastball misses, ball 2. Here in this second inning, Adrian Zatara hit a leadoff single left field. He stole second base just 2 pitches later, so he was at second with nobody out, but he's still at second now with 2 outs. No one else has hit the ball out of the infield. Ball high, 3-1. Been a tough inning for Pileggi, but he's 1 out away from getting out of it with a 0 on the board. 22 pitches this inning for Pileggi. Hasn't walked anybody yet, but it's 3-1 on Latos. Swing and a miss, full count. Latos, the number 9 hitter. Top of the order due up next. And Pileggi would just as soon not face them with runners on base. So this is a big 3-2 pitch, righty to righty. Quick glance to second. Now the pitch. Just below the knees, ball 4. First walk issued today by Sam Pileggi. It's his 13th in 7 1/3 innings pitched this year. Latos, the catcher, will depart. He's got the courtesy runner coming in for him. Jalen Avery. Senior from Oswego comes on as the courtesy runner. So it's Avery at first base, Zatara at second, and Muha is the batter. He takes an awkward cut, strike 1. Jake Muha led off the game with a ground out to the shortstop on the very first pitch. He's 0 for 1 today. The 0-1 is popped up foul to the left side. Gusel and Dant give it a look, but that's out of both of their reaches. Lands in the seats, 0-2. So Pileggi now for the second time is 1 strike away from getting out of this second inning. Wasn't able to put away Latos as he issued the 2-out walk. But now 0-2 on Muha. 263 hitter with a 462 on base percentage. He swings and misses, strike 3, and the inning is over. First strikeout for Sam Pileggi, and he pitches out of a second inning jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. To the bottom of the second, 1-0 Bees. It's the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 so far. St. Ambrose on top. Fighting Bees have had 4 base runners through 2 innings. St. Francis was not able to respond in the bottom of the first. Here in the second, they'll send Brian Hidalgo, Drew Dant, and John McGuire up against Jacob Bossy, the junior lefty who misses high for ball 1. See a fan with a Bossy jersey on right behind home plate. Ball inside, 2-0. Just a wild guess, but I think it might be his mother. I don't know that those Bossy number 5 St. Ambrose shirts are flying off the shelves. I might be wrong. They don't live out in the Quad Cities as Hidalgo takes the strike, 2-1. Next pitch doesn't find the zone on the break. It's 3-1. Brian Hidalgo, Brayan, is just 167 so far this year, 2 for 12 at the plate, but he finds his way aboard here on the second walk already issued by Jacob Bossy. Bossy has thrown 14 balls, only 10 strikes through the first inning plus. We'll see just how patient the Saints are going forward. See if they can wait him out. He has not been sharp early in this game. Drew Dant stands in, hitting .342. One of only 2 men to have started every game this year for the Saints. Dant takes a big cut and foul tips it for strike 1. Dant has 2 homers, 7 RBIs. A .985 OPS. The only other player on the team to have started every game is Alex Martinez. So that's half your infield right there. Martinez at second, Dant at third. Ball high, 1-1. Drew Dant is a grad transfer from William Jewell College. Originally from Highland, Illinois. The 1-1. Hit in the air to center field. Chasing it back is Dan Laffery. Laffery's at the track, and that is off the wall. Laffery stumbles as he tries to get it back to the infield, so the runners keep on going. Hidalgo across home plate. Dant all the way into third, standing up with an RBI triple. That knots up the score. 1 triple for each side, and both of them have led to a run scoring for Drew Dant. It's his first triple, his 5th extra base hit of the year, RBI number 8. And now a quick moment to make sure that Dan Laffery's okay. He says he is. He ran into the wall trying to chase that ball down and was left on the ground over on the warning track out in right center for a little while, but he eventually was able to pull himself up, wave off any help from the trainer, although the trainer did make it all the way out there just to be sure. He collided with the wall and went down immediately, pulled himself back up to throw the ball back into the infield. And then on his throw, he fell again. I don't know if that was just the force of the throw or if he lost his footing on the throw or if he was just reacting to having collided with the wall a few seconds earlier. But that'll take the wind out of you for sure. You run right into it. It is a padded fence, but still hard to run into it. Not quite at full speed, but you didn't peel off either. So you see it all the time at a ballpark like this when a guy runs into that padded fence. It takes him a few seconds to regain his bearings, but usually they do stay in the game, and that's the case here as well. John McGuire hits a foul ball, strike 1. McGuire hit a homer on Tuesday afternoon, game 2 of the doubleheader. It was the only run the Saints scored in a 16-1 loss, but it was good to see him get rolling again. McGuire pops this one foul to the right side and out of play. 0-2. John McGuire this season hitting .229. 4 extra base hits, 4 RBIs. An RBI chance here, but he's behind in the count 0-2. He fouls it away. Still nobody out in the inning. So if he is not able to get Dant in from third base, Alex Milcars will get a chance. Either one of them will need to get a hit. Contact will do. Infield playing back for St. Ambrose. Check swing on a ball high. It's 1-2. I mentioned a few moments ago that Jacob Bossy has really had a problem throwing strikes all season, and especially today. Going into the Drew Dant at bat, I said it'll be interesting to see how patient the Saints are going forward. The answer is not at all. They've swung at almost every pitch. Ball high, 2-2. It's worked out pretty well, though. Dant got that triple. 2-2 now on McGuire. It's been a very difficult day so far, though, for Bossy. A lot of pitches through the first 2 innings. McGuire checks his swing on a ball up high. He did not go around. Now late appeal, and he still did not go around. Another 3-ball count. It's 3-2. 4 of the first 7 batters have seen a 3-ball count from Jacob Bossy, who's in some trouble here. A walk would put runners at the corners. Payoff pitch. It's not going to put runners at the corners because it's a wild one all the way to the backstop, and Dant comes in to score. McGuire tries for second base. The throw is in plenty of time, and McGuire is out for being a little overzealous. 1 away, first out of the inning, but 1 run does score, and it's the second run of the inning on the wild pitch that allowed John McGuire to reach first base. 3rd walk of the game issued by Bossy, but this time it does not result in a base runner. I can't remember the last time I put something like that in my score sheet. A walk and out on the play. So here's Alex Milcars with the bases empty, and Milcars takes ball 1. Alex is an .080 hitter, 2 for 25, 1 RBI. He has walked 4 times. He's halfway there in this at-bat, 2-0. So just 1 out in the inning, and that 1 out occurred on a walk. Milcars swings on 2-0, grounds it to short. Charging it is Vincent. The throw to first beats Milcars by half a step. 2 down. Nice play by Bryce Vincent. Milcars runs well. The ball was not hit particularly hard, so Vincent had to play it quickly, and he did just that. 2 outs, bases empty for Dan Gusel, and that's a big out for the reason I was just mentioning. There had been 1 out in the inning, and it occurred on a walk. It doesn't always matter how it happens. When the bases are emptied, it allows you to reset things a little bit as a pitcher. And it looks like that's exactly what Bossy did right there. He's able to calm down, and now he plunks Dan Gusel on the first pitch. So 9 batters into the game, he's walked 3 and hit 1. Bossy, now on the season, has issued 11 walks in just 10 2/3 innings, and he's hit 3 batters. We're back to the top of the order, and Alex Martinez. Martinez is 0 for 1, flew to center field in the bottom of the first inning with the team trailing 1-0. Now they're up 2-1. Just 1 hit for the Fighting Saints, but they've managed 2 runs thanks to Bossy's wildness. Runner on the move, pitches outside for a ball, throw to second base, and the tag is down to retire Malachi Riley. Riley had come in as the courtesy runner for Gusel, and he is caught stealing to end the inning. 2 runs on just 1 hit, 2 outs on the base paths. The Saints run into some trouble in the bottom of the second. They do claim the lead, though, on to the third. 2-1, St. Francis. After 2 innings, it's 2-1 St. Francis over St. Ambrose. Fighting Saints got 2 runs on 1 hit in the last inning. A walk, a hit by pitch, a wild pitch, all contributed to the runs scoring, but the big hit was the triple for Drew Dant, which is the only hit of the game thus far for the Saints. St. Ambrose has 3 of them, but only the 1 run as Noah McCreary steps in to lead off the third. He fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. McCreary, Weber, and Matias, 2, 3, and 4, due up against Pileggi, who had to work hard to get out of the second inning, but ultimately was able to do so, stranding 2 runners and not allowing anybody to score. In the dirt for a ball, 1-1. McCreary tripled in the first inning. He later scored first, and to this point, the only run for St. Ambrose. One pitch, taken up in the zone for a strike. 1-2. McCreary's triple earlier this afternoon was the first one of those all year for St. Ambrose. Out into center field, just out of the reach of a chasing Cliff Vickers. Just missed on the 1-2 offering. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McCreary, senior, playing for his hometown school, went to Devonport West High School, transferred in from John Wood Community College. He fouls it away. Still 2-2. Pileggi tries to put him away, but he misses high, ball 3. Been a long day for both pitchers so far. Both of them were right around 40 pitches through 2 innings. Just a 7-inning game, so you don't have to go quite as deep as a starter in order to make it an effective appearance. There's ball 4 outside. That's our 6th combined walk in today's game. Second issued by Pileggi. And the leadoff man is aboard for the 2nd straight inning for St. Ambrose. For the 2nd straight inning, it is a man with good speed over at first base. Adrian Zatera stole second just 2 pitches after he reached in the 2nd inning. So we'll see how close Pileggi watches McCreary over at first now. Well, it's not going to matter. He's not going to stay at first very long because Brock Weber is hit by the first pitch. 7th combined free base runner in the game as McCreary draws the leadoff walk. Weber follows by getting hit by a pitch. They're at first and second with nobody out. And St. Ambrose threatening to make this a big inning. It's the first batter that Pileggi has hit this season, which is a bit of a surprise considering how inconsistently he's been able to throw strikes. Matias is up. He shows bunt, takes the ball high, 1-0. Matias is 1 for 1. He hit a shot right at the third baseman, Drew Dant, in his first inning at bat. Ended up reaching on a single. They're not looking for him to add to his hits total here, at least not on that first pitch. On the second as well, he squares to bunt. It's a really good one down the third base line, and he does add to his hits total. A bunt single on a sacrifice attempt for Brandon Matias. McCreary advances to third, Weber up to second, and they're loaded with nobody out. They have not hit the ball out of the infield yet this inning. And yet here they are with the bases packed. Brings up Joey Fitzgerald, the third baseman. Better than a 400 hitter this season and a big chance to add to his RBI total. He averages 1 per game on the season. Fitzgerald takes a ball in the dirt, 1-0 as Gutzel's able to block that one. Nice play by the catcher, not allowing it past him. Would have scored a run. And that's just it for for Fitzgerald. He is trying to add to his RBI total. He doesn't necessarily have to swing the bat in order to do so. Pileggi's had trouble finding the zone this inning. The 1-0. And the dirt, another good block by Gutzel. Gutzel has saved 2 runs with that play behind the plate. Could have been 2 straight wild pitches. Instead, it's a 2-0 count. And before the 2-0 pitch, a visit to Pileggi on the mound. McCreary walked. Weber was hit by a pitch. Matias looking to sacrifice himself to move the other 2 up. Ended up reaching on a beautiful bunt single. Now 2-0 on Joey Fitzgerald, who hit a tapper back to the pitcher's mound his first time up. He's 0 for 1 of the game. Eight balls, 4 strikes this inning for Pileggi. In the game, these 2 pitchers combined have thrown more balls than strikes. The 2-0 pitch. Hit foul to the right side on the ground. Pileggi will happily take that after the visit. He's able to throw a strike, his first one in a while. And the count goes to 2-1. Adrian Zatera waits on deck. There's still nobody out. So Fitzgerald's trying to get at least 1 run in, but if he doesn't, that's not the end of Pileggi's worries. Barring a triple play, which is possible. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Got him to swing over the breaker there. Now Fitzgerald's in a little bit of trouble. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pressure is still greater right now on Pileggi than it is on Fitzgerald, because again, even a strikeout would only be 1 out with a runner at third. A good chance to continue to put some runs up. 2-2. Strike 3 call right down the middle, and Fitzgerald couldn't pull the trigger. A huge strikeout for Pileggi and the first out of the inning. So 1 away in the top of the third. Matias at first, Weber at second, McCreary at third. Here's Adrian Zatera. First pitch is knocked into right center field. That's going to find the gap. It'll score at least a couple runs. McCreary is already in. Weber motors home. Here comes Matias getting the wave around third base as well. Zatera dives into third base. It's a 3-run triple. And St. Ambrose is back in front. First pitch, Zatera wasted no time following the big strikeout of Joey Fitzgerald. Zatera finds some green space in right. Couldn't have placed it out there any better. Right in between Cliff Vickers and Jake Klepash. And they played it as well as they could and still had no chance of preventing Zatera from making it all the way to third. Runner at third base. Still just 1 out as the Saints bring the infield in. Ball 1 on Bryce Vincent. 4-2 is the score. And St. Ambrose can still get another run on a fly out here. Vincent hits a ground ball instead. The throw goes to first base from Brian Hidalgo for out number 2. Hidalgo looked at Zatera, who started to make a move towards home. He got maybe 20 feet off the bag, and Hidalgo, you could see the motors turning. He wanted to throw back to third, or at least chase Zatera, force him to commit and get the out there, but it wasn't the safest out. Safer play was going to first, making sure Zatera stays at third, which is exactly what happened. And now there are 2 outs as Lafferty swings and misses for strike 1. Dan Lafferty is 0 for 1 with a pop out to the pitcher's mound last inning. Actually popped out to the pitcher right in front of home plate. Runner at third base. Pileggi's not out of the woods, but he did get the big second out as he misses low on Lafferty. 1-1. 3 runs are in this inning for St. Ambrose. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt. Another good block by Gusel. 2-1. I was about to say Gusel has saved 3 runs this inning blocking pitches in the dirt, but I guess the other 2 both scored anyway, so all he did was delay those runs. He didn't save them. And the same could be true about Zatera. For the moment, he has saved a run. If Zatera scores anyway, then his efforts will have gone in vain. Popped up behind home plate and out of play, 2-2. Pelleggi is one strike away from getting out of this third inning. 3 runs are in the frame. Only 1 ball has been hit out of the infield. Walk, hit by pitch, bunt single, and then a 3-run triple. There's also been a strikeout and a ground out in there. And the dirt, another good block by Goosel. Full count on Laffrey. Catcher Latos is on deck. Four runs on 5 hits in the game for St. Ambrose. We've already seen 2 lead changes in this one. It's only the top of the third. There's ball 4 high. Another walk for Pelleggi. That's his third to go with a hit batter. He entered play today averaging well over 2 walks per inning pitched. So he's slightly ahead of that pace here, with only the 4 of them, including the hit by pitch through 2 2/3. But it's not a good way to live if you want to pick up victories. Trying to find that control as he faces Latos for the second time and misses up and away. Latos drew a walk his first time up. The 1-0 is hit a mile high out to left field, foul. Milkars chases it into the bullpen and watches it land on the berm down the left field line, 1-1. St. Francis as a team today came in with an 11.64 ERA, and a lot of that is because of control issues. Pelleggi has had the worst of them, but he has certainly not been the only pitcher on the club that has had problems throwing strikes from time to time. 1-1 clips the outside corner, 1-2. For the second time, Pelleggi is 1 strike away from ending the inning. Runner goes and takes second base easily. Pelleggi heard his teammates yelling step off as Laffrey took off way too early. And he did step off, but his first instinct was not to check the runner at first, it was to check the runner at third. So by the time he recognized that Laffrey was the guy going, he didn't have time to throw back to second base. Hard hit ball down the third base line, but well foul from Latos. Still 1-2. Stolen base for Laffrey is his first of the year. There's a swing and a pop-up on the infield. Left side playable. Brian Hidalgo, the shortstop, makes the catch. That ends the inning. So when all is said and done, 8 men come to the plate. Only one of them hits it out of the infield, and St. Ambrose still comes up with 3 runs. They leave 2 on our way to the bottom of the third. Bees lead the Saints 4-2. St. Francis took the lead in the bottom of the second inning, but they've got their work cut out for them now as they come into the bottom of the third, trailing once again. 4-2 our score now. The Saints send the top of the order up. Martinez, Vickers, and Meliska to face Jacob Bossy. Bossy's first pitch, taken over the inside corner for strike one. Bossy has struggled today. 3 walks, 1 hit batter through 2 innings. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. He's thrown 23 balls and only 17 strikes thus far. But he's pitching with his biggest lead that he's had so far today. Ball 2, Martinez in the driver's seat in this at-bat. Alex Martinez flew to center field his first time up. He was in the box to end the second inning when Riley was caught stealing. 3-1 the count. And that's well inside, ball 4. I really think the play at this point is just don't swing. Bossy just has not been able to throw strikes at all in this game. And he faces Cliff Vickers with a runner at first base and nobody out. Vickers struck out looking in the first inning. Ball 1, low and in. The first time I said that, I didn't say that exactly, but I said, I wonder if the Saints are going to be a little bit hesitant to swing, maybe try to take a few more pitches because he hasn't thrown strikes consistently. The next batter swung, and it was a triple, so it's pretty good. There's a swing and a miss. 1-1 on Vickers. That snaps a stretch of 5 consecutive balls thrown by Bossy. Pitching staffs will be a little bit freer in how they're able to use their bullpen in today's doubleheader. In the dirt, 2-1 on Vickers. Because yesterday's doubleheader was canceled. Both head coaches came in to this weekend thinking they would have 4 games over the course of the weekend. Instead, they'll have only 2. So they can definitely get some different arms in there who originally would have gone yesterday as Vickers flies it into shallow center. Lafferty had some trouble finding it, but ultimately he is able to pull it in. 1 down. Martinez still at first base with 1 out. Nate Meliska's the batter. Neither bullpen has been active yet in today's game, but I would imagine it won't be long. Neither pitcher has been effective through nearly 3 innings, and both pitchers have thrown a barrel full of pitches. Runner on the move, pitches swung on, bounced foul to the left side, strike 1. Sam Pileggi for the Saints has made 53 pitches in just the last 2 innings alone. Bossy's closing in on 50 for the game right now, just 1 out in the third. It's 0-1 on Meliska, who drew a free pass his first time up. Meliska takes a strike over the inner edge, 0-2. So the pitch counts are not a concern right now. I'm just suggesting they might become a concern earlier than you would typically expect in a game. So that's another reason why you might go to the bullpen early. But again, the primary reason would be that either pitcher has looked all that great so far today. There's a throw down to second in time for the out. Martinez caught stealing. 2 away. The Saints have really shot themselves in the foot on the bases in this game. That's the 3rd time they've had somebody thrown out on the base paths. Good throw from Garrett Latos as that ball did skip away from him. Didn't get very far though, and Martinez was not quick enough once the ball was in the dirt. And thrown out relatively easily over at second. Swing and a miss from Meliska. The inning is over. It started well for the Saints, a leadoff walk, but Bossy ends up facing the minimum. We go to the 4th, 4-2, St. Ambrose. Top of the order for St. Ambrose, top of the fourth. The Bees lead the Saints 4-2 in a game that's been dominated by walks so far. St. Ambrose has been able to take advantage of their free base runners a little bit better than St. Francis has early on. Jake Muha fouls back the first pitch for strike one. Muha is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. Leading off an inning for the second time today. St. Ambrose has gotten the leadoff man on base in back-to-back innings. Ball high, 1-1. Sam Pileggi got off to a good start. In the first inning, he gave up the triple to Noah McCreary, which did lead to a run scoring, but he got some quick outs, threw a lot of strikes. It's been a slog ever since then. Fouled away 1-2. He's been falling behind almost everybody. Let a lot of guys on base. And St. Ambrose has made him pay. Credit to the Bees hitters. 5 hits already in the game. One, 2. Check swing on a ball high. 2-2. The Bees, though, have had the opportunity to score more. They've left 5 men on base through 3 innings. Generally speaking, if you're scoring about as many runners as you're leading on, you're doing an okay job. So the 5 base runners left on, it's not a horrible number for them. Ball low, 3-2. I think if they were being shut out right now, you'd look at the stat sheet and say, we've left 5 men on. That's really frustrating. We've had opportunities to score and we've squandered them. But when you're at about 1-1 runs scored to runners left on, you've done your job. Ball in the dirt, another walk, and the leadoff man reaches here in the 4th. "19 men have come to the plate for St. Ambrose. 10 of them have reached, so their on-base percentage is better than .500 as a team today. Noah McCreary has been 2 of those guys to reach. He tripled in the first, walked in the third, and scored both times. This time he'll try to advance the runner. He pops up a bunt, third base side. It's foul, strike 1. The bunting game has worked pretty well for St. Ambrose so far today. They tried it once last inning. Brandon Matias was looking for a sacrifice. He ended up reaching himself on a bunt hit. Overall, though, when you're playing a game with the stat that I just mentioned, more than 50% of their batters in this game have reached base. I think you might be a little bit more excited about rolling the dice, trying to get each man on, as McCreary does not bunt on the 0-1 pitch, takes a ball inside that gets away from Gusel, and Muha advances to second. So now it'll be interesting to see what Tony Huntley has in mind for McCreary's at bat with a runner at second instead of a runner at first. On paper, this would be more of a slam dunk bunting situation than the previous case. He squared up on the first pitch, not on the second, and not here on the third as he takes a ball high, 2-1. "75 pitches thrown already in this game for Pileggi, and there is action in the bullpen now. 2-1 is taken high, ball 3. With a runner at second and nobody out, a pickoff attempt back at second base, and Muha dives back to the bag. Brock Weber waits on deck. Weber's got an RBI already today. The big hit of the game was a 3-run triple for Adrian Zatera in the third inning. Turned a 2-1 deficit into a 4-2 lead for St. Ambrose. The lead they still nurse right now. There's a drive out to deep right field, back to the warning track, and out of here. Noah McCreary's big day continues as he drives one on a line shot over the right field fence. McCreary has his 3rd homer of the season. A 2-run shot. It's 6-2 St. Ambrose. Muha scores in front of them on the play. Still nobody out in the inning. And the batter will be Brock Weber. St. Ambrose has scored at least once in 3 out of the first 4 innings today. Weber has been a part of that, an RBI and a run scored. He's 0 for 1 officially with a ground out as he takes ball 1 inside. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. The 1-0 is in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Ethan Fleming is the pitcher warming up down the right field line for the Fighting Saints. 2-0 pitch. Up high, ball 3. Pitching has been an issue so far this season for the Fighting Saints. I mentioned earlier their ERA coming in well over 11. All 6 runs have been earned today over just 3 innings. And another walk. Feel a bit like a broken record talking about bases on balls in this game. That's 5 of them issued by Pileggi along with 1 hit batter. Bossi has issued 4 walks and hit 1 batter. And that'll do it for Pileggi. Tough day at the office for him. He departs with a runner at first base, nobody out in the 4th inning. He is unable to get an out in the 4th. 6 runs allowed so far. Man at first is his responsibility as well. I'll give you his full stat line in just a moment, along with the stats on the new pitcher. Right now, I'll step aside. 6-2 St. Ambrose, top of the 4th inning. Top of the 4th inning, nobody out, 2 runs already in this inning, and a man at first base. Brandon Matias comes up against the new St. Francis pitcher, Ethan Fleming. Sophomore right-hander, Fleming is on for the 6th time, his 4th as a reliever. He's 0-2 with a 28-29 ERA. In 7 innings, he's allowed 22 runs on 20 hits, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. And his first pitch to Matias is over for strike 1. Today's starter, Sam Pileggi, lasted 3 innings, allowing 6 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits. He walked 5, hit 1 batter, struck out 2. The man at first is his responsibility as well as Matias takes ball 1. And the count is even. Matias is 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Takes a strike. It's 1-2. His 2 singles went to the same spot right at third base, but they were very different hits. The first one was a screamer that bounced off the chest of Drew Dant on 1 bounce, and the second one was a bunt. Ball low and away, 2-2. So I've talked about the pitching a lot in today's game because it has been a story, but right before stepping aside there during the pitching change, I was making the point about the lofty ERA for St. Francis, well over 11 coming in. Matias takes the ball outside, 3-2. Obviously, that's a very high ERA, but the other point I made earlier is that we're at a point in the season where you really just can't pay very much attention to the stats. They're going to change dramatically in conference play. Ground ball to short, could be 2. Hidalgo flips to second. Martinez relay is not in time. They do get the 1 out on the play, though. 6-4 on the fielder's choice. Weber is out. Matias is safe at first. 1 away. And the inning will continue for Joey Fitzgerald. Sometimes it's hard when you're looking at the stat sheet and you see big numbers like that to remember, well, we've played several games against one of the top 5 teams in the country. We've played a few other ranked teams along the way. Everybody's still just rounding into shape. The numbers just don't matter, but the other big point I've been making all day is that the numbers don't matter as long as you throw strikes, as Fitzgerald fouls one off, strike 1. If you don't throw strikes, those numbers are going to stay very high, and that's been the case for both pitchers in today's game. We've seen more balls than strikes overall thrown today. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And we've seen 11 free passes issued in 3+ innings. You can say it's working out okay for Jacob Bossy. He's only allowed 2 runs. He's got a 4-run lead, but Saints have scored their 2 runs on only 1 hit. Throw to first, and the runner dives back in safely. Swing and a miss. Fitzgerald goes down on strikes for the 2nd time today. Swung way over that one as it swept low and inside. Nice work by Fleming since coming in. He's gotten 2 quick outs. And now looking to make it 3 in a row against the man who's been the player of the game so far, Adrian Zatara.
Right fielder, number 2, Adrian Zatara.
Noah McCreary with his home run earlier this inning. Maybe trying to steal that crowd away from Zatara. Big at bat for him here in the race for player of the game. Strike 1 over the inside corner. Zatara singled and stole a base in the 2nd inning. He tripled and drove in 3 in the 3rd. So like McCreary, he's halfway to the cycle. Over the outside corner, 0-2. Fleming trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning since he came in. Line drive into center field. He won't be able to do that as it tails into right center. A base hit for Zatara, his 3rd today. Matias chugs into 3rd. They're at the corners with 2 outs following a solid single from Adrian Zatara. Second hit of the inning, 7th of the ball game for St. Ambrose. Zatara's got 3 of those 7. In fact, they only have 3 players with hits. McCreary's got 2, Matias has 2, and Zatara has 3. Here's Bryce Vincent. Vincent takes a fastball for strike 1. 0 for 2 in the game. The St. Ambrose shortstop has popped out and grounded out. He rips this one to the left side. Diving stop by Hidalgo. He throws to second, not in time to get the out. It's an infield single for Vincent. Matias crosses the plate, makes it 7-2 St. Ambrose. It's an RBI infield hit. Great effort by Hidalgo on a ball that was smoked by Vincent. But even though he kept it on the infield, there was really nothing he could do with it. He knew he had no play at first. He tried for second, and he was solid 2.5 late on that one as well. Zatara runs well, made it to second easily ahead of the toss. Dan Lafferty takes ball 1 outside. So it's a 3-run inning, the second one of those in a row for St. Ambrose. Their lead is 5. They've got runners at first and second with 2 outs. 1-0 on Lafferty, and that misses downstairs. 2-0. Lafferty popped out in the 2nd inning. In the 3rd, He walked and stole a base, but was stranded at second. 2-0. Line drive, left field, another base hit. Here comes Zatara around third. He'll score easily as Milcars bobbles it in left. The throw comes back to second. That's where Vincent stops on the play. 3 straight 2-out hits for St. Ambrose, and their lead is 8-2. Lafferty picks up his first hit of the ball game, his 3rd RBI this year. Runners still at first and second. And Garrett Latos is the 9th hitter of the inning. No air out in left field on that play. Milcars did bobble the ball, but Zatara was rounding third the whole way, never slowed down. So I think he was going to score with or without the bobble. Latos is 0 for 1 with a walk. He swings at the first pitch. He hits it hard down the line, but that's a foul ball. Strike 1. So walks have been the theme of the day. Ethan Fleming came in with a high ERA as well, and walks have not been his problem this year. He came in having allowed 20 hits in 7 innings. A .513 opponent's batting average, and that's been the issue today. They're 3 for 5 against him this inning. Ball outside, 1-1. Fleming recorded 2 quick outs. It looked like he had really calmed the storm after coming in. Got a ground out and a 3-pitch strikeout. But since then, not just 3 singles, but 3 hard hit singles. Solid line drives all over the field for St. Ambrose this inning. Ball outside, 2-1 on Latos, the catcher. 1 run in the first, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth. For St. Ambrose, they've been pretty much matching their run totals with their innings. Second to side. There's a high fly into right center field, and it drops in for another base hit. 1 run scores. Lafferty makes it into third. It's an RBI single for Latos, and the score is 9-2. Well, that one disappointed me because, again, St. Ambrose had scored 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and St. Francis had scored 2 in the second. So prior to that hit, we had the exact same amount of runs as inning for 4 straight. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And I didn't see it today either. 5 runs this inning for the Bees. They're at the corners, 2 outs after 4 straight hits. Here's Jake Muha. Muha began this inning with a walk. He later scored. He takes a ball inside. For Garrett Latos, that RBI single gave him 6 runs batted in for the year. Poked foul to the left. 1-1 on Muha. Throw to first base. Latos dives back to the bag. 1-1 on Muha. The 10th man to hit this inning for St. Ambrose. Muha is 0 for 2 in the game. He takes a strike. Fleming was 1 strike away from getting out of this inning 4 batters ago. He had Adrian Zatara 0-2. Ball up and away, 2-2. He was 1 strike away from making it 3 straight men retired and a quick finish after a promising start to the inning for St. Ambrose. But Zatara was able to slash an 0-2 pitch into right center for a base hit. The wheels have kept turning since. Runner goes from first, the throw to second, not in time. It's a stolen base for Avery, the courtesy runner. And now a 3-2 count on Muha. Fleming was ahead of him 1-2. He's missed on the last 2 offerings. Muha flies it into center field. Cliff Vickers is right there. He makes the catch. Inning over. But a big inning for St. Ambrose. They score 5 runs on a 2-run homer for Noah McCreary, and then 4 straight 2-out singles. On to the bottom of the 4th inning at the halfway point of this one. It's St. Ambrose 9, St. Francis 2. Big lead for St. Ambrose as we move into the bottom of the 4th. The Fighting Bees have scored 8 unanswered runs as Jake Klepash leads off the 4th and takes ball 1 downstairs. Klepash is 0 for 1 with a ground out. Jacob Bossy, coming off of his best inning of the game so far, goes back to work and misses outside, 2-0. This one's not over for St. Francis, for the reason I've been talking about all game. Bossy has not consistently thrown strikes. He falls behind Klepash 3-0. He's given up a lot of base runners of his own. He hasn't given up very many hits, and that's been the saving grace right now. It's kind of par for the course for him. Lots of walks, not very many hits. That's his stat line coming in as Klepash takes ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to begin the 4th inning. Once you've been spotted a 7-run lead, though, the last thing you want to do is start giving free base runners to the other team. Well, he hasn't started giving free base runners to the other team. He's been doing it all game. 6 of them through 3+ innings. Brian Hidalgo stands in. Hidalgo drew a free pass his first time up. And he takes ball 1. Next one to Hidalgo. This is low. That's 6 straight balls to begin the inning. Hidalgo scored the first run of the game for St. Francis. It tied the score at the time. The bottom of the 2nd inning when he walked and then came home on Drew Dant's triple. Saints eventually took a 2-1 lead, but it didn't last very long. Finally a strike. It's 2-1. Action in St. Ambrose's bullpen. Saints starter is already done. Sam Pileggi lasted 3+ innings, 3 batters into the 4th. Hidalgo swings, pops it up, right side foul, towards the seating area and out of play. 2-2. Joey Turek is the pitcher who's gone down the left field line to begin to stretch. He's taking his time. They've got a 7-run lead, so it's not urgent that he be ready to go. They want to be prepared if Bossy is not able to start throwing strikes. He doesn't there. Ball 3. St. Francis has somebody going in the pen as well after Fleming pitched the 4th. It's Luke Gunther who's getting loose right now. Payoff pitch to Hidalgo. Lifted into shallow right field, dropping fast and down for a base hit. Klepash got a good read on it. He heads to third base and makes it in easily. It's a base hit for Hidalgo, putting runners at the corners with nobody out. Like I said, this game's not over. St. Francis still has 12 outs to play with and facing a pitcher who's given them a lot of base runners today. That's the second hit of the game for the Saints. First one came from Drew Dant, who tripled in a run in the second inning. Dant bats for the second time now. Good RBI chance for him here. He takes ball one. Dant leads the team with 8 runs batted in this year. With a runner at third base and nobody out, a golden opportunity to at least pick up number 9. With a man at first base as well. Visit to the mound here to try to settle down Jacob Bossy. Bossy has thrown more balls than strikes in every inning so far in today's game. Overall, he's thrown 37 balls, 48 strikes. Or excuse me, 37 balls, 26 strikes among his 63 total pitches. 1-0. Misses low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Dant. Every batter this inning has seen a 2-0 count. Your eyes light up as a hitter. Ripped out to left field, another base hit for Dant and another RBI as Klepash crosses home plate. Back-to-back singles for the Fighting Saints. Hidalgo up to second base. It's a 9-3 ball game. Dant is 2 for 2 with 2 runs knocked in. And the batter is John McGuire. McGuire walked in the second inning. He's getting his second at bat now. Squares to bunt this time. A hard one down the third base line. Foul. Strike one. Not sure if that was a planned bunt or if he decided to try to pull that one off himself. Saints have a little offensive momentum right now. And they're down by 6 runs, so I don't know that this is the time you want to give up outs, but McGuire's got good speed. So he may have been bunting for a hit. He squares again here, drops it down third base side. Charging is the third baseman Fitzgerald. He throws over to first and gets the out. So on the one hand, you could say mission accomplished. He was trying to give himself up for the advancement of the runners there, but that's a crucial out that the Saints have seeded here in the 4th inning, trailing 9-3. Dant is at second. Hidalgo's at third. The batter is Alex Milcars. Milcars is 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up. Milcars swings the first pitch, grounds it to first. This will get a run in as Brock Weber steps on the bag for the second out of the inning. Dant moves up to third. Hidalgo scores. 2 runs in the inning for St. Francis, and the score is 9-4. Brings up Dan Gusel for the second time. Gusel was hit by a pitch his first time up. Trying to get this runner in from third. Big swing and a miss, strike one. St. Ambrose put 5 runs on the board in the top of the 4th inning. The Saints have answered nicely, putting a 2 spot up here in the bottom of the 4th. But with a big deficit, they don't want to leave a man at third, no matter how propitious the inning has been up to this point. 1-1 on Goosel. Bossy's next offering. Misses the outside corner. 2-1. If Goosel reaches base, we're back to the top of the order. Saints are still trying to turn this into a big inning. Big swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Bossy sets, trying to put an end to the fourth. He does as he blows one by Goosel for strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Bossy. And the Saints settle for 2 in the bottom of the fourth. 3 innings still to play here in game 1 of a doubleheader. 9-4, St. Ambrose. Noah McCreary will lead off the top of the 5th inning for St. Ambrose against a new St. Francis pitcher. Junior Luke Gunther is in for the 6th time this year. It's his 5th relief appearance. Gunther is 0-2 with a 10.61 ERA. In 9 1/3 innings, he's allowed 15 runs, 11 of them earned on 17 hits. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. He fires strike 1 to Noah McCreary, who's had a perfect day at the plate so far. McCreary is 2 for 2 with a triple and a home run. He's also walked. He's driven in 2 runs. He has scored 3. It's been a monster day for McCreary so far, but he's 1 strike away from being eliminated in this at-bat. 0-2. Gunther looks to put him away and retire the leadoff batter for the first time since the 1st inning. It's a foul ball to the right side hit by McCreary. Gunther is the 3rd pitcher of the game for St. Francis. The starter, Pileggi, lasted 3+. Ethan Fleming went 1 inning. He allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. No walks, 1 strikeout. Ball outside, 1-2. All of the runs were earned. All of the runs on both sides are earned today. It's been a clean defensive game. No errors for either team. Check swing. He went around. Call made at home plate. Goosel has to throw on down to first as the pitch was in the dirt. He's able to lob it over the head of McCreary and get it to first base in time for the first out of the inning. We'll bring up Brock Weber.
First baseman, number 17, Brock Weber.
Weber is 0 for 1 today, but every one of his at-bats has been productive. So that 0 for 1 doesn't tell much of the story. So he takes ball 1. First inning, he drove in a run on a ground out. So that's his 0 for 1, an RBI ground out. Since then, he's walked and been hit by a pitch and scored once. Ball just off the outside corner, 2-0. Entering this inning, St. Ambrose as a team in this game had a .571 on-base percentage. 16 of their 28 batters had reached. Ball outside, 3-0. Gunther has retired the leadoff man, which is just the second time in 5 innings that's happened today. The other was the first when Muha grounded out on the first pitch. There's a 4-pitch walk issued to Weber. It's our 11th total walk in this game, 13th free base runner, including the 2 hit by pitches, and it brings up the DH, Brandon Matias. Matias is 2 for 3, a couple of singles, reached on a fielder's choice, and scored 2 runs. He takes ball 1 high. So the Saints have retired the leadoff man now twice, in the first and again here in the 5th. They have not yet retired the first 2 batters of any inning. So it's been a pretty steady stream of base runner for the Bees. 1-0 is over for a strike, 1-1. You can hear it's a windy day in Joliet today. Wind blowing from left to right, not a huge impact on home runs, I guess. It's still an impact when the ball is in the air, as this one is. Floating into right field, foul. Maliska chases it back into the bullpen, and the wind may have contributed to that one. Eventually flying out of play. 1-2. Turek continues to throw in the bullpen for St. Ambrose, so one would assume that Jacob Bossie's day is done. But how big a lead will the Bees have when they turn it over to the bullpen? It's at 5 right now. Runner at first base with 1 out. Gunther would just love a ground ball here. He'll take that as well. Matias swings through strike 3. 2 down. Second strikeout for Gunther. Both of his outs have been recorded that way. Matias not able to reach base, nor is he able to advance the runner. That brings up Joey Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald takes strike 1. He has gone down in strikes and back-to-back at bats, looking in the 3rd, swinging in the 4th. He came into play today with a .407 on base percentage, but is the only man not to have reached base for St. Ambrose in the game. Ball outside, 1-1. Nine runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Bees. 4-3-0 for the Fighting Saints. Throw to first base, chases Weber back to the bag. We're down to our final 3 innings in this one. 7-inning game 1, 9-inning game 2 is the standard for doubleheaders. Ball outside, 2-1. So this is the short one, which means each inning is magnified a little bit, which means that this 5-run deficit for St. Francis really can't grow any larger if they want to have any chance at the comeback. That's flipped into shallow left field, down the line, long run for Dant into foul ground. He can't quite reach it, and it drops for strike 2. Good effort from Dant. He ran a long way. It looked the entire way, though, like it probably would drop out of his reach. So the bigger thing for the Fighting Saints there was the fact that it did drop foul, only about a foot wide of the line. But it did go as a strike. 2-2 on Fitzgerald. 2 outs, 1 on. The hot-hitting Adrian Zatara will bat if Fitzgerald reaches. Gunther would rather see him next inning. Fly ball down the left field line. Again, cutting towards that line, but this one drops about a foot fair. A base hit for Fitzgerald. Weber heads to third base. Call it a double for Joey Fitzgerald, and there are 2 on with 2 outs. Zatara will get a chance here. So back-to-back fly balls out to left field hit by Fitzgerald. One of them landed about a foot outside the line and narrowly avoided trouble for the Saints. The next one about a foot inside the line, and it caused trouble for the Saints. But nobody scored on the play. Not a great jump away from first for Brock Weber. And that means Gunther can attack Zatara. If he gets him out, he can still put a 0 on the board. Zatara takes strike 1. Easier said than done retiring Adrian Zatara. He's 3 for 3 today. 2 singles, a triple, and 3 RBIs. Ball outside, 1-1. Gunther retired McCreary earlier this inning. Nobody had been able to do that all game. So maybe he can do it for a second time. Getting Zatara for the first time today. Strike called off the glove of Gusel, but no advance from Weber, who stays parked at third. Count is 1-2, and Gunther is, again, just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. It's another long inning. There have been nothing but long innings with St. Ambrose at bat today. They have made St. Francis's pitchers work. They've gotten a lot of success as a result. Chopper foul down the third base line. Still 1-2. Lefty Gunther sets the next pitch. Another foul ball hit by Zatara. Fifth-year senior out of St. Patrick High School in Chicago. He has been with St. Ambrose for his full 5 years. He was at Waubonsie Community College before transferring. This is the 6th pitch of this at-bat. Pickoff throw to second, and they got him. Joey Fitzgerald fell asleep over at second base, and Luke Gunther guns him down to end the inning. No runs in the 5th for St. Ambrose, despite a walk and a double. They leave 1 on our way to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's a 5-run lead for St. Ambrose, 9-4. Bottom of the 5th inning, and for all of St. Ambrose's offense in this game, Fighting Saints are still hanging around, trailing by 5, but just 3 innings to try to erase this deficit. They'll bring up their first 3 batters here in the 5th. Martinez, Vickers, and Maliska. The first pitch misses high for ball 1 from Jacob Bossy, who is still on the mound to start the 5th inning. Joey Turek has been warming up in the bullpen for a while now, so he's ready to go in case Bossy runs into any trouble. But Tony Huntley would like to get him through this 5th inning as Martinez fouls one back, 1-1. Alex Martinez flew out to center field in the 1st inning. He walked in the 3rd. Ball in the dirt, 2-1. Bossy, the left-hander, goes back into the windup, and the next pitch just barely clips the inside corner. It's 2-2. Martinez trying to reach base to lead off the 5th. He takes ball 3, low and in. He's been patient in the batter's box for the most part in this game. The Saints have been rewarded for their patience for the most part. A lot of base runners through 4 innings. Martinez becomes another one. Not sure if that got him on the arm or not. It looked like it might have hit him. He said, I think, that it hit him, but the home plate umpire did not indicate as much, so we'll call it a walk rather than a hit by pitch. 6th one of those today, issued by Bossy. Here's Cliff Vickers. Vickers is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown out. And he takes ball 1, low and inside. Bossy's trying to get through this 5th inning. Get himself his 2nd victory of the year. And you would assume he'd be done after that if he does clear the 5th. Ball low, 2-0. It's funny how the perception of a performance can change without you having done anything. Bossy hasn't pitched well today. 6 walks, 1 hit batter. He's given up 4 runs through 4 innings, a 9 ERA. That's fouled back out of play, 2-1. But early in the game, when he was trailing 2-1 after 2 innings, things weren't looking good for him. Now they look great. He's done enough in this game to give his team a chance to win, and it's because his offense has produced. Strike at the knees, 2-2. If he's able to get through this 5th inning without allowing a run, he'll depart having allowed 4 runs in 5 innings, but have the 5-run lead. You leave with a 5-run lead, you've done your job. Ball high, 3-2. Games aren't played on spreadsheets. You look at these numbers in a vacuum and say, well, you probably lost that game. But as long as you're giving your team a chance to win, you're doing okay. Again, the numbers don't exist in a vacuum. Runner on the move. The pitch is swung on and foul tipped. Vickers stays alive. Martinez will head back to first base. And as a pitcher, obviously, you'd like to have a cleaner ERA, a cleaner walk rate, but at the end of the day, all that matters is how your stats fit into the game at large. In this game, he could give up 7 or 8 runs. He'd still be sitting pretty, because his team has 9. There's ball 4, back-to-back walks. The pitch goes to the backstop. Martinez thought about third base. He was running with the pitch, so he would have had a little bit of a head start on Garrett Latos' throw, but the Saints have run into 3 outs on the base paths already today. Probably a smart move there not to head to third. So Vickers is aboard for the first time today. 7 walks issued by Jacob Bossy, and the 7th appears as though it will be his last, as Tony Huntley grabs the ball from him and makes the call to the bullpen. So we'll have a pitching change. St. Francis makes some noise here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Down by 5, but they're hanging around trying to make a push with runners at first and second, nobody out, and the heart of the order coming up against the St. Ambrose bullpen. I'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. 9-4, bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th inning. 2 on, nobody out for St. Francis. Trailing by 5, they face a new pitcher. It's Joey Turek, making his first relief appearance after 3 starts this year. 1-0 with a 7.36 ERA in 14 2/3 innings. He's allowed 12 runs on 19 hits, 10 strikeouts, 0 walks. That's a big stat in this game. The junior right-hander out of Downers Grove South High School's first pitch is flipped into left field by Nate Maliska. This will get a run home. Alex Martinez across home plate without a throw. And it's 9-5 on the RBI single. Vickers advanced to second on the play. Two on, nobody out. The Saints are making a run. Charge that run to the starter, Bossy. Nate Maliska picks up his 6th RBI this year. He's on base for the 2nd time in this game. Here's Jake Klepash. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run. St. Ambrose expecting the bunt. He swings away and misses. Strike 1. Runner at second base still belongs to Bossy, so this line is not official yet. Ground ball to first base, smothered by Brock Weber, who steps on the bag for the first out. But that'll advance the runners. 3 unassisted, Maliska up to second, Vickers to third. The batter is Brian Hidalgo. Again, bearing in mind that there could be one more run added to this, the numbers for Bossy today, 4+ innings. He allowed 5 runs, all of them earned, on 3 hits, 7 walks, 1 hit batter. He struck out 3. Hidalgo swings the first pitch, turns on it, foul to the left side, strike 1. Hidalgo went 1 for 1 with a walk and 2 runs scored against the starter, Bossy. There's a pop-up into shallow right field. Zatara actually drifts back on a little deeper than I thought. He does make the catch. This will be a sac fly as Vickers comes home to score. Maliska advances to third base. Back-to-back 2-run innings for St. Francis, and they have pulled to within 3 runs, 9-6. The inning began with 3 consecutive base runners for the Saints. Walk, walk, hit. Since then, they've played a little small ball. Klepash advanced him on a ground out, and then Hidalgo scored 1 on a sac fly. Drew Dant takes ball 1. Dant's the hottest hitter today for St. Francis, 2 for 2. 2 RBIs and a run. Looking for his 3rd RBI of the game with a man at third base. Takes a wild swing and a miss. 1-1. That last run was charged to Bossy, so you can close the book on him. 4 innings, 6 runs, all earned. Dant hits one high and deep out to left field. That ball is gone. A 2-run homer for Drew Dant, and we've got a 1-run game. Six straight runs for the University of St. Francis. And they have turned a 9-2 deficit into a 9-8 ball game. Dant has his 3rd hit, his 3rd and 4th RBIs of the game. I want to say deja vu for St. Ambrose because of their crazy 1-run games on Tuesday, but they lost several leads in those games. Nothing quite like this, though. They haven't lost this lead yet either. They're still just 7 outs away from a victory. But what once looked like a sure thing is now a little nerve-wracking as John McGuire takes ball 1. And there's ball 2. 2-0 on McGuire, who has no official at-bats today, a walk and a sacrifice. He takes low, 3-0. A walk here would put the tying run on base with Alex Milcars on deck. And there is ball 4. First walk issued this year by Joey Turek in more than 15 innings pitched. It's like an infectious disease in this game. Nobody can avoid walking hitters, including hit by pitches. That is, I believe, number 16 in the game. I'll have to recount after this inning. Alex Milcars takes strike 1. Milcars is 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts and an RBI. Tying run at first base with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. 6 straight runs for the Saints, including 4 this inning. Milcars bunts it foul, strike 2. Turek is 1 strike away from getting out of this 5th inning. And at this point, St. Ambrose could use that just to regroup. Head back to the 6th, reminding themselves they do still have an advantage. Ball outside, 1-2. You're out on the field. There are base runners. Pressure seems high. It's probably hard to remember. They're still in the driver's seat in this game. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Milcars goes down on strikes. Turek has his first strikeout, and he gets out of the 5th inning, but not before allowing 4 runs, 2 of his own and 2 of his predecessors. We'll head to the 6th. Close one here. St. Ambrose 9, St. Francis 8. Top of the 6th inning, 9-8. St. Ambrose leads St. Francis. Adrian Zatera leads off the 6th for the Fighting Bees, facing Luke Gunther, who's on for his 2nd inning of work. Gunther misses low for ball 1. Gunther ran into some trouble in his 1st inning out there, thanks to a walk and a double. St. Ambrose put runners at 2nd and 3rd, but he picked off Joey Fitzgerald at 2nd base and got out of the inning without allowing a run. Strike over the outside corner, 1-1. Zatera's 3 for 3 today. 2 singles, a triple, and a little roller over to 2nd base. Gloved cleanly by Martinez. Off balance throw to 1st in time. A little bit of an awkward play there, as Martinez had to hurry to get the speedy Zatera. The ball was hit right to him, but it was hit softly enough that he had to charge it. And so he was at an awkward angle as he threw to 1st base. Throw was low, but pulled out of the dirt by Nate Maliska, and the leadoff man is retired for the 2nd consecutive inning. Here's Bryce Vincent. Vincent swings the first pitch, lofts it into shallow right. Coming in is Klapash. Now he takes a step back and makes the grab, 2 down. St. Ambrose led this game 9-2. Their 7-run lead is down to 1. It has not been a pretty game. 16 combined walks and hit by pitches between the 2 teams. St. Ambrose as a team in this game has thrown more balls than strikes. Dan Lafferty takes ball 1 high. And it's been a long one, already over 2 hours in. But that can be expected when there are 17 runs on the board through 5 innings. Breaking ball over the outside corner. 1-1 on Lafferty, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a walk. Lefty to righty, the 1-1. High fly on the infield. The shortstop Hidalgo waves everybody away, makes the catch, and ends the inning. It's our first 1-2-3 inning of the game. And it sends us into the bottom of the 6th. The Fighting Saints have all the momentum. Let's see if they can come back, tie the game, or take the lead in the bottom of the 6th. They trail at 9-8. Fighting Saints come up in the bottom of the 6th inning, trailing by just 1 run. Bring up a pinch hitter to start this inning. Brant Singler will be followed by the top of the order, Alex Martinez and Cliff Vickers. Saints scored 2 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. As Joey Turek starts Singler out with ball 1. Turek on for his 2nd inning. Gets Singler to swing and miss, 1-1. He allowed 2 inherited runners to score in the 5th, and then 2 of his own as well. One hopper right back to the mound. A hard hit ball by Singler, but Turek makes a nice stab at it and flips over to 1st for the out. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th. Top of the order for the Saints, it's Alex Martinez. First time the leadoff man has been retired for St. Francis since way back in the 1st inning. Bees had issued a leadoff walk in 4 consecutive innings since then. Ball 1 inside. First 1-2-3 inning of the game for either side occurred in the top of the 6th. Not only was it the first inning all game that there hadn't been a base runner, it was the first time since the top of the 1st that there was a half inning without a base on balls. 2-0 on Alex Martinez, who's walked twice and also flown out. He takes a strike, 2-1. Strike over the inside corner. Nice spot for Turek there. It's 2-2. Vickers stands on deck. Turek trying to bring him up with 2 outs and nobody on. Martinez slaps it to the right side on the ground. Bobbled by McCreary, but he recovers in plenty of time to throw out Martinez at first. 2 away in the 6th inning. So we've seen our first 1-2-3 inning. Now will we see our second? Cliff Vickers is the only man who stands in the way of Turek in a perfect frame. Vickers is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run. Takes strike 1. 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors for St. Ambrose. 8-5-0 for the Saints. Grounded foul, 0-2. That's right, 8 runs on 5 hits and no errors committed by St. Ambrose. Saints have had 14 total base runners today. Ball outside, 1-2. Bees wanted it. Most demonstrably, Noah McCreary. Demonstratively. Fouled off to the right, still 1-2. Turek tries to put him away again. There's a swing and a fly ball down the right field line into the corner and foul. Hard hit ball by Vickers, but he pulled it a little bit too far. Count remains 1-2, and he'll see a 6th pitch from Turek, trying to keep the inning alive with Nate Maliska on deck. Luke Gunther has pitched 2 scoreless innings for St. Francis. Keep this game close. Little blooper up the middle, gloved down 1, hot by the shortstop Vincent. He throws on the run and gets his man. Nicely done by Vincent. And it is the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for St. Ambrose pitching. 1 inning still to play in game 1 of today's Twin Bill. St. Ambrose clutching that narrow lead, 9-8. Top of the 7th, last chance for St. Ambrose to add some insurance. Latos, Muha, and McCreary are due up against a new pitcher for St. Francis, their 4th of the day. Ryan Daly has been far and away the best pitcher on the staff this year. He's making his first relief appearance. And Daly's first pitch is swung on and missed by Garrett Latos. In 3 starts, Daly is 2-1 with a 3.79 ERA. He's pitched 19 innings, allowing 10 runs, 8 of them earned on 16 hits, with 6 walks and 24 strikeouts. 1-1 on Latos. Quickly, the next pitch, righty to righty, over the outside corner, 1-2. Luke Gunther pitched 2 solid innings, back-to-back zeros on the scoreboard with Gunther on the mound. 1 walk, 1 hit allowed. He struck out 2. Fouled off to the right side, still 1-2. Gunther won't factor in the decision here, but if St. Francis does come back and win, he'll be a big part of the reason. Strike 3 called. Latos goes down looking. 1 out in this 7th inning. Think about the fact that Gunther came in with his team trailing 9-4. It looked like they were just kind of playing out the string in this game. And he put up back-to-back zeros, gave a chance for the Saints to work their way back in. Strike 1 called on Muha. The 0-1 pitch. Misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Saints starter today was Sam Pileggi. He struggled to throw strikes. Ball inside, 2-1. He departed after 3+ innings. Gave up 6 of the 9 runs. There's a grounder to short, right at Hidalgo. Throw to first is in time. 2 away. St. Ambrose's starter Jacob Bossi allowed 6 runs as well. He lasted 4 innings in the game. We had base runners aplenty in this one. We're going through an unprecedented stretch now. 9 consecutive batters have been retired going back to the bottom of the 5th. It's 9 consecutive overall in the game. 4 straight Saints and 5 straight Bs have been set down. Noah McCreary takes ball 1 and swings through strike 1. Even count as Daly looks for a 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 frame. Looks like he's got it. Bouncer played by Maliska, the first baseman. He flips to the pitcher covering the bag and ends the inning. 3-1 on the putout. Back-to-back perfect innings worked by the Saints bullpen. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for St. Francis to complete this comeback. They trail 9-8.
Leading off the St. Francis 7th inning, first baseman, number 31, Nick Maliska.
Last chance for the Fighting Saints in game 1 of this doubleheader. Bottom of the 7th inning, they trailed 9-8. St. Ambrose is 0-2 in CCAC play. Both losses came by 1 run. Now they're trying to win one the same way. Nate Maliska takes ball 1 outside. We're underway in the bottom of the 7th. It's Maliska, Klapash, and Hidalgo facing Joey Turek in his 3rd inning of work. Turek hits the inside corner, strike 1. In 2 innings, Turek has allowed 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk. But he's retired the last 4 men he's faced, and that streak ends as Maliska smacks one into left center field. Around first, chugging for second base. The throw from Dan Laffery is not in time, and Maliska has a leadoff double. Well played by Laffery out in center field, but he had to range a long way to his right in order to cut that one off. Maliska recognized he was in no position to make a throw. never slowed down and made it into second base easily. 6th hit of the game for the Fighting Saints. Meliska is replaced at second base. And Brent Blytek comes on as a pinch runner. Here's Jake Klepash. Bees think he'll be bunting here. Corner infielders are in. Klepash is not bunting. He takes a ball outside. Right-hander begins to throw in the bullpen for St. Ambrose. Remember, the first 2 games of this series were postponed initially and then canceled tomorrow as well. They were postponed from Friday to Saturday, or from Friday to Sunday. They're not going to be able to be played tomorrow either because of bad weather. Ball outside, 2-0. So both pitching staffs are opened up quite a bit. A lot of arms that were expected to go in the first 2 games of this series were not used. So actually 2 guys getting loose in the bullpen right now for St. Ambrose as Klepash swings and misses, 2-1. Right-hander throwing and a left-hander stretching down there right now, not yet warming up. That might be the next game's starter. There's a grounder to first base. Weber gloves it and steps on the bag. 1 away, a productive out as the tying run Blytek advances to third base. Here's Brian Hidalgo. We saw at least 1 run scored by one team or the other in each of the first 5 innings. No one has crossed the plate since the 4-run bottom of the 5th for the Saints. Game has flipped around a little bit, but the Saints are trying to get the offense rolling again. Brian Hidalgo stands in, tying run at third, and fouls off the first pitch to the right side. Strike 1 on Hidalgo, who's already got a sacrifice fly today. Fly ball would likely result in another one right here. Blytek, the speedster, over at third. All 4 infielders are in. So St. Ambrose will look to cut down the run at the plate on a ground ball. Ripped out to left, it's a base hit. Blytek scores on Brian Hidalgo's RBI single, and we are knotted up at 9. What a comeback for the Fighting Saints. They trailed 9-2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now we're even 9-all in the bottom of the 7th. Looks like we may get a pitching change here. No signal has been made yet, but the head coach of the Fighting Bees, Tony Huntley, has been making his way slowly to the mound, gathering the infield in. So we'll see if this is a strategic conference or if they are eventually going to make the change. Whoever's pitching, there's a different runner over at first base. Max Montgomery has been called in as a pinch runner for Brian Hidalgo. So it's Montgomery running at first. A hot-hitting third baseman, Drew Dant, coming up to bat, and Turek still doing the pitching. Drew Dant is 3 for 3. He has singled, tripled, and homered, not in that order. He has 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and now he can be the hero with an extra base hit here to score Montgomery. Dant takes ball 1 outside. In fact, a double here would almost certainly score Montgomery from first base. He's got good speed. It would win the game and give Dant a cycle. Instead, it's a pop-up to shallow right field. Zatera comes in, makes the catch, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. So that means if McGuire is retired here, we're headed to the 8th inning, which seems like a normal occurrence, but this was scheduled to be a 7-inning game, so if we do go to the 8th, it would be extra innings. John McGuire has no official at bat today. He's got a sacrifice bunt and 2 walks. This is the 2nd time that he's faced Turek. He drew the free pass against him in the 5th. Only walk all season for Turek in 17 innings pitched. Strike one called. Montgomery is the winning run over at first base. McGuire flies it into left center field. Long run in, a dive, and Lafferty can't catch it. Here comes Montgomery around third base. The throw comes in, and it's not in time. Saints win. It's a walk-off double for John McGuire, and St. Francis overcomes a 7-run deficit to win the ball game 10-9. St. Ambrose, I think, is going to appeal at third base. He did touch the bag, and so that's game over. 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning result in the walk-off victory for St. Francis. This was a wild one. The Saints, for a long time, took advantage of Jacob Bossie's inability to throw strikes. And then in the last few innings against the St. Ambrose bullpen, it was the bats that came out to win the game. 4 hits over the final 3 innings against Joey Turek. Actually make it 5 hits. McGuire's double is the 5th. Results in 5 runs scoring, or 4 runs scoring, sorry. And a 10-9 final score. We'll go over a bit of the scoring in this one to wrap it up. St. Ambrose did strike first in the first inning as Noah McCreary tripled and came home on a Brock Weber ground out. St. Francis took an early lead. Drew Dant had an RBI triple, scored on a wild pitch, and St. Francis led 2-1. It's an argument going on down behind home plate. Tony Huntley still, I think, not convinced that Montgomery touched third base on that last play. It's been in the umpire's ear ever since this game ended. But it's not that one play that cost St. Ambrose this game. It's a long buildup of walks and hit by pitches. We'll go back to the scoring here. St. Francis led 2-1. And maybe he was upset about the strike zone as well. In the top of the third, it was 2-1 St. Francis, but their lead disappeared as Sam Pileggi lost the strike zone. A walk, a hit by pitch, and a single loaded the bases, and then a 3-run triple for Adrian Zatera made it 4-2 St. Ambrose. They added 5 runs in the 4th inning. A 2-run homer for Noah McCreary, and then 4 consecutive singles contributed to the run scoring. It was 9-2 St. Ambrose led, but it was all St. Francis after that. In the bottom of the 4th, a walk and 2 singles scored a run. Alex Milcars had an RBI ground out that made it 9-4. And then in the 5th inning, back-to-back walks precluded an RBI, or presaged a big inning for St. Francis. An RBI single for Nate Maliska made it 9-5. Sac fly for Hidalgo made it 9-6. And then Drew Dant's 2-run homer made it a 1-run game. And then finally in the 7th inning, an RBI single for Brian Hidalgo tied the score, and an RBI double, a final at bat for John McGuire gave the Saints the 10-9 victory. Winning pitcher after a perfect 1-2-3 7th inning was Ryan Daly, who's now 3-1 on the season. Losing pitcher is Joey Turek, who allowed 4 runs over 2 2/3 innings pitched. Final totals: 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors for St. Ambrose, 10-8-0 for St. Francis, who improves to 2-1 in conference, and 4-10 overall. St. Ambrose now 0-3 in the CCAC. All 3 victories came by 1 run, and in all 3, final runs scored in their opponent's final at bat. They're 6-9 overall on the season. We'll step away for the next half hour or so. Just before 4 o'clock, we'll have game 2 of this doubleheader, a 9-inning affair, as the Saints will go for a sweep. Again, our final score in the first game, 10-9. Saints win in walk-off fashion over St. Ambrose. Come on back, about 3:50, 3:55 or so, we'll have game 2 of this doubleheader. Until then, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the moment. We'll be back soon.